Juicy Juice Productions. Let's go. Hu Ju Shin. Previously on Kimba TV. A lot of good stuff. How many of you guys are already in longs? Anybody already in longs? I don't want to jinx you or anything. It's a little bit tough, I think, to be in a long right now. I'm not gonna lie, but if you are in one, you're beginning to see the rounded bottom. So you got to get the fuck back above the trend line. No questions asked, and you really need to turn that point of control into support. And so I think it's really that simple. But yeah, that low, it looks unfinished, so don't know. But you could definitely have like a little bing bong ding dong throughout the night because we're gonna see what the RTH brings. K's1 says grabbed a few. It's probably not bad to start layering. You know. But you know me though, my ass is looking for a trident, and I'm not looking for like the Step Brothers trident. I'm looking for like the, you know, the real Aquaman trident. You heard? Alex the Magician, let's go, man. Let's go. Jed the Rocks has got stopped out. Yeah, but you know, I'll kick it. I'll play a little bit of Warzone for maybe like an hour. I guess it depends on how many fucking wins I can get. It's still unbelievable that institutional market makers, I have an easier time dealing with institutional market makers than 12-year-old kids on Adderall. It's crazy. I have transcended so that I don't get trapped. I don't get got on a bottom short. I don't get trapped on a top long. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I have levels of interest. I have data that I'm looking at, and I've already planned out pixel for pixel, word for word, what I want to see. I want to see bottom shorts come in. Double digit millions. I'm talking about 40, 50, 60, 100, you know, just on the BTC USD exchange. Got him. You know, structural edge, most likely a trident. All right. And I'm going to be looking for that CVD divergence indicating that we've got some absorption going on, or at least seller exhaustion. So I'm going to do me. And I don't really have to stare at this shit, you know, and you guys don't have to stare at my shit either. So you could just mute me, and, you know, if I start moving charts or if I start drawing shit, you can unmute me and listen. But you guys are more than welcome to ask your questions and get the fuck out of here, man. You know, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm going to be here to see if I can get a live fill. And if you're down for that, I'm down, and I'm here with you guys rocking and rolling, maybe like another 2 hours or so. I'm probably going to pop a NyQuil at 9 o'clock. So maybe at like 9:15. We got exactly 2 hours to kick it, you know? But remember what you guys are really here for. You know what I mean? We're here to make money, right? We're not here to measure each other's dicks. Pause. I got top short. I got bottom long. No one gives a shit. The only thing that matters is, are you making money? Is this a profitable investment of your time? And if it's not, then let's spend every fucking opportunity we can to make it. All right. Any other questions before we start blowing on that Latuche? You guys have levels to the downside, levels to the upside. You guys need anything? Single prints? You Gucci? Here's a screenshot if you need it for single prints. You've got a cluster at 98,850, which is why I keep talking about that number. And how long have we had the 98 for? Yeah, so we, you know, somewhere around there. But could this be a long opportunity? I don't know yet. It's hard to tell because I don't see any of the edge that I normally would see if I'm going to be getting into a long. I don't want to be a buzzkill for anybody that is in a long. But it's hard for me to take one right now. If it gives me like a baby trident, then when the trend gets broken, I can get in on bullish retest. Like this. You know? Like if it changes structure and then the bullish retest is going to make the shitty trend or the trident, then I can get in on it. But it's got to show me strength, and there's literally no strength right now. But that's also normal. It's not necessarily like too much of a weakness. Who the fuck is this? No, Kimba, you're right, man. I'm not going to take any risk, man. I'm not going to put any blind limits. Who is fucking longing 99.6, 723 Bitcoin? Tracer? EV pause? Who this? Fuck, Kimba, why are you putting me on blast? You know we can see your goofy ass. Who is this? Robinacci. Could be Robinacci. Could be Robinacci because he's juicing. I know he's got the money for it. All right, well, so I would do something like this. And I would do something like this. And go fucking play some Warzone, you feel me? Bulls, show me. Do something for me. Could it be a 3 drives? Maybe. I don't know about a 3 drives. I'm looking for a trident. So I think this is the first piercing. For me, this is the first piercing. But would be ideal. I don't know. Yeah, I just wish that people realized this isn't really that hard. It's a lot of hard work. Okay, there's a difference between it being hard work and hard. You know what I mean? And yeah, instead of, trying to, factor this imaginary world where it's impossible to juice, I wish people could believe in themselves a little bit more and understand that anybody can really do this. At least the academic side, right? Now, individually, in terms of emotional composure, discipline, patience, that's on you, and there's no book that can fix that. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys, man. Did you guys have a good FOMC? Cowboy Crypto says, congrats on your trades, bro. Thank you, brother. But how does you do? Is there anything that I can do better, Cowboy Crypto, to help you guys juice? Yeah, man, we got pretty lucky with the S&P not closing us out, but I was even narrating like where my stop loss was, when I would move it, how I would move it, and so we got real close to getting stopped out, especially on like that 05382. But overall, it was nice. It pixel fucked 886. Cowboy Crypto says, I missed the short, I got the long. That's fucking awesome, man. Do you want to talk about stop loss and profits or what you could expect for the pullback? We don't get too bullish on penetration, right? And any time it pops up like that, we're always prepared for some sort of pullback, especially anything structural. Because the thing is we didn't get a lot of bottom shorts trapped. We didn't get all of the longs that I wanted to get stopped out. We only have structural edge, so that structural edge has to hold. Value area low, point of control is right here, and then VWAP. And then regardless of what happens right now, this is overnight data. All right, so things like overnight highs will get cleaned. So if it does this, or if it leaves a bad high or something, if it does this, comes back, you might think it's going to sweep it again before we go, or lowered probability, but this is going to get cleaned up again. But there's no reason to clean it because the CME level got tapped. But yeah, that's awesome, Cowboy Crypto. Watch out for POC and VWAP getting turned into support. And then the true Trident base value is the pivot, the Trident, like that. So you don't really want to, spend time below this level. All right, but it looks good for the Trident because you got the penetration, you got the break, right? And so don't be afraid of the bullish retest. Show me you know what you're doing. Let's go. All right. I think today we're going to do a lot of altcoin nerd out because it's almost time. It's almost time, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Let's go! Kachoya! Too easy! Too easy! Kachoya! Let's go! Schwiggity swag. Schwiggity swag 'em. Do you have any questions, Sophia? Did you prepare for worst case scenario? Do you remember when I said, maybe we need to shave a little bit after value area high? Yeah, no real surprises. It needed to hold the orange line, right? It needed to hold, ideally value area low, but the biggest thing that it needed to hold was settlement, right? So, yeah, nothing too crazy, Sophia. This is all math. I feel like if anybody is freaking out today, all that hard work about talking about preparing for worst case scenario, understanding pullbacks, everything that I said over and over and over must have just fallen on deaf ears. Yeah, but let's get it. It's pretty straightforward. So we lost orange line. The reaction doesn't look good. You guys saw Boo Gammas. Let's see if we can get 94 or 93,710 or whatever. And that's why we got to start doing TA on altcoins because we're almost there. We're still a couple days away. You know, we talked about this, but once this gets back towards this zone, we're going to be looking for altcoin longs. So we got to get ready. You ready? It's too easy. That I think I said it 63 times so far. The thing, like the chat transcript is counting, but I'm above 50 times on saying always think worst case scenario. But it's juicy. Coney says altcoins already dropped 30%. Doesn't surprise me, my boy. You know, because ETH BTC becoming bullish is going to be the first trigger for altcoins, right? And when we start really going big, and I still think I'm going to get this. Still think I'm going to get that 170 soul. So Crypto Psychic says, RIP my alt portfolio. That's okay, but technically altcoin season hasn't even started. Right? Crypto Psychic, were you listening to the press conference yesterday? Did you read at least his notes? Question, did quantitative easing happen? So theoretically, you don't have to worry about altcoins right now. Make sense? Prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Akajuya! Fernanzi says, what are the odds of a fake out and game back in the orange line? So do you remember when we broke this down? Oops. Do you remember when we broke down the previous one?
He just told us to be
Crypto Psychic says, I'm just in disbelief. About what? It's math, my boy. Yeah. What is the disbelief, my boy? Well, the first thing is if something that you didn't anticipate happened, then the solution is simple. You just got to do better preparation, right? Because your worst case scenario is not worst case scenario. Yeah. What do we always say? If something surprises you, you did not prepare by definition, correct? Yeah. So that's if you're surprised, then that's an easy fix. You just got to do a little bit better preparation. Yeah, Crypto Psychic says, I kind of YOLO'd before the rate cut, should have waited. That's okay. Yeah. But for the rate cut, I was bearish. We got into ETH shorts, Bitcoin shorts, S&P short. The only reason why I even have energy right now is because I got settlement and the PNL hit my account. J-Buck says, what alts are you already in long? I think I still have 6, but exclamation YouTube, I would just get caught up, J-Bucks. Yeah. What I would recommend, J-Bucks, for people like you is be forward thinking. If I'm in a long, I'm going to get stopped out in profit. So there's no value for you in understanding which ones I haven't gotten stopped out Does that make sense? I think it would be better if you figure out what you could possibly take next. Mainly, I mean, I'm kind of hinting at it here, but what would altcoins be? What would ETH and SOL be if we get to 93, 92? Vadi says, I asked how much time do you think it will take to BTC? No one will know. Yeah, so somebody asked a very similar question last night. You can't predict the future. All right. The better question is, V-Rai, what kind of data can you look at to be able to tell that it's bearish? So can you tell that this is pretty bearish? Can you tell that it was bearish up there? I don't really care if you shorted or not. Just don't long at the golden pocket, right? Right? So, yeah. It's this is like a pretty easy pop quiz in my opinion. This is how you figure out, like, do you really know what you're doing or you don't? Can you see bullishness or can you see bearishness? Mr. Logo says, I want bearish retest to enter short. And guess what? You're gonna have so many opportunities, brother. Show me you know what you're doing. Let's get it. Too easy. And so it's really the mindset that I'm trying to change, because that's how, like, you might fuck up and not take this short. You know, you don't want to be the guy that's asking, so what do you think now? We already thought about that months ago. The better question is what do you want to see for January? Does that make sense, Visp? So do you remember the 3 things that I said like 5, 6, 7 weeks ago during Altcoin Nerd Out episode 1? There were 3 things that I was looking for today. And do you remember the combination of the 2 that I said would be good enough for me to execute blank? So, I'm curious about the bigger picture though. It seems like inflation might be creeping back up and rates are likely to keep climbing. Does this mean the auction is over? No. So there's a couple of things that I want you to remember. Political and like economic policies, they take time to kick in. Okay? So did we get a rate cut? We got a rate cut, right? So there's going to be cheap money flowing in, right? He's still selling, right? So we need to be patient, but theoretically, the altcoin season has not officially started yet. So we have time. Yeah, so we have time. And I will still be looking to long 92, 94, 88, 82, any of those levels once this starts to look good. You were here yesterday, right, Visp? Were you here when I had to market smash this bitch? Were you here when I said, damn man, this is not as bullish as we wanted? And I had to market smash at the value area low? And then Alpeasy came back and is like, wait a minute. I thought you said it's not bullish. It is not. So none of this is surprising to me. I knew at some point we were going to pull back and we were going to do a bullish retest either on settlement, value area low, or the orange line. We talked about that. So nope, I didn't see that. That's why you want to watch the highlights, because you might think you're watching 24/7, but the 1 second that you look away or go take a piss, yeah. So no, I'm nothing has changed for me. Nothing has changed for me, right? Do you remember what I said was the only bullish edge? I said we didn't get CVD div. So that's why I didn't long here. There's a reason why, even though I had this point of control marked out pixel perfect, I didn't take it. You can go back and listen to me say it. I said, this does not look bullish. And guess what? What were the 3 things that I listed that I wanted to see for me to consider it bullish? That was prepared 2 days before. So yeah, like that's what I mean is you can either listen to me 24/7 or you can just go ahead and try to figure out how to read it like I am. Daily says, I thought you market smashed. Yeah, I did. That's why I didn't take this. Otherwise, I would have had 98.8. But yeah, we market smashed the value area low. So make sure you, like if you weren't paying attention, you might think that because I'm in a long, we're bullish. I specifically said none of this is bullish. And I only took it because it went back into value. So none of this is surprising. I knew it was going to have to do a pullback. It failed miserably at value area high, value area low. It should have held that. Settlement is looking like it's starting to get turned into resistance. Yeah, I mean, for me, nothing has really changed since yesterday, to be honest with you. I think people like, and that's what I mean. Like, I'm never going to be able to change your subconscious bias. If you're going to believe what you want to believe. You know, maybe you weren't bullish at all, but you got, since you heard me say that I got into a long, you went into a long, and then you saw this, and then your subconscious got bullish, and then this happened, and you were like, oh, I can't control that. You know? So that's why it's so important that you know what the fuck you're doing. But if you really truly want to know what I'm thinking about everything, I say it all out loud and it's prepared for. So again, we identify this level pixel perfect, the untapped naked point of control on CME. Why did I not long it? I didn't get the CVD edge I wanted. I didn't get the open interest edge that I wanted. The only thing that I got was structural edge. And I said that verbatim, word for word. So yeah, like for me, like nothing has really changed. It would have been great if this was the level to hold, but it looks like we're going to go to 94. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'll look for structure. I'll look for open interest. I'll look for edge. I will have a plan A, B, and C on how I'm going to get filled if it goes really quick, right? I'll do the same thing. If it gets back into value, I'll go ahead and market smash long. If the structure is there, if the open interest is there. All right. And we never get bullish on the penetration. We get bullish on the retest. So I would do the same thing here. And if we get into a nice little long and it does this and then it comes back and it can't hold it, then it's going to go lower. So it's level to level. But you definitely don't want to be like getting married to like what you think I said. Go with what you see. Does that make sense? So yeah, it's all there. Yeah, it's all there. But yeah, and for me, I'm gonna just watch and see if it can get back above settlement or value area low. So like, if it starts to do this, I would market long that. Okay, I would probably let it change structure, and then on that break. That would be the stop loss, and then when it breaks back above. Nothing too difficult, man. I'm ready to go, but you got to be prepared and ready to go as well. So shout outs to longers, shout outs to shorters. We're all looking at the same shit. I'm prepared. I hope you guys are. Let's do it. Yeah, we just got to take it level by level. And how, I don't know if you were here, but when we were about to get this, I specifically talked about all of this. Okay, so theoretically, there is a chance that you could do something like this. That might be a long. Don't be mad at me if I tell you all I got into a long if this swing fails and it closes back above this level, right? Right? Especially if that's like a div. And you know I love bottoms and tops that slant that way, right? That's an interesting level where you might be able to get that, because remember, what do we say about the overnight shit? What do we say about the overnight shit, y'all? Overnight high, hey, go fuck yourself. You're getting cleaned. Overnight low, hey, go fuck yourself. You're going to get cleaned. I mean, I'm ready, man. I don't think this is really that hard, to be honest. So do you guys have levels identified to the downside? Do you guys have levels identified to the upside? For me, I'm going to be looking for structural edge, open interest edge, and I'm going to be looking for divergence edge, and then probably S&P confluence depending on what time it's going to do it. Obviously, I'm not going to consider S&P confluence if the markets have already closed. All right? And I'm going to do the same motherfucker. If I don't get any edge, okay, if I don't get the open interest, if I don't have bottom shorters down here, if I don't have CVD divergence, but it has structural edge, I'm going to play it just like how I've been doing. Market smash the value area low. Market smash losing that swing high. You don't want to like overcomplicate it. And one of the easiest ways to overcomplicate it is to get emotionally compromised. Because guess what? When your emotional side of the brain is working, your logical side isn't. So you might be thinking that you're planning, but you're not. So you got to stay focused and locked in and just execute what you already prepared. You feel me? I'm ready for a swing fail long here if it happens. I'm ready for a 3 drives or a trident down here if it happens. All right. And just like how, where's LPZ at? Just like how I told LPZ that this wasn't bullish and the only edge we got was structural edge. I know that this could just completely go down because we didn't get, you get, how many of y'all remember when I said I want 40, 50, 60, 70 million in bottom shorts? We didn't get it. That's why I didn't take the pixel perfect entry that we discussed. So I hope you guys are following along and watching the rewind and exclamation YouTube. I'm literally doing everything pixel for pixel as I've planned out. I have levels and I'm going to be looking for edge, structural, open interest, divergence, S&P confluence, etc. That's it. I think some of you guys are making it way too complicated. I can't tell ya! Apples are super cool. Says, I'm a little still confused on terms you use. Do you explain them throughout your YouTube highlights? Yeah, it depends on the day. Yeah, if somebody asks, then yes. Yeah, and if you don't know something, you can just always ask in Discord too. All right, good morning from Australia. Let's go to GGG Escher says chances we don't clear that low. So have you nerded out on bad lows? I don't know what you don't know, right? Yeah, have you nerded out on bad lows and poor lows and weak lows? GGG. And the other question is how many times have you seen it? This is bad low and tends to be cleaned overnight. That is incorrect. Yeah, it doesn't have to be overnight, brother. So what I would do if I were you is you identify probabilities, all right? So for example, this is a level of interest. I don't know if you have anchored VWAP or not, but right off the get-go, you can do something like this. The question is do you have enough bullish edge here to try to break, and not only break, but turn these levels into support? Okay? And if you can clean these highs, then you're going to try to take that level into support. Just take it level by level. And even if you clear that, guess what the next fib is going to be? All right? So you could anticipate like that just getting swept. But yeah, there is no like, it's got to get swept by this time or anything like that. All you need to know is because, I mean, we have bad lows from weeks and months ago. Do you know that? I was looking at this earlier, so you can always go back and hit rewind. But I looked at all of these lows. I compared the ETH lows and the RTH lows. And I identified which ones were bad, which ones were poor, and which ones were weak. But these lows haven't, they've been there for weeks and months, my guy, right? Sounds good. Dole Kong says, Kimba, if RTH goes back above that trend line, is it bullish? Nope. Dole Kong, do we get bullish on penetration or do we get bullish on the retest? Also, don't forget about what we've seen already, okay? We already went back up once. It has to turn that line into support. Just going through it isn't good enough. All right, Dokong. Anything that you can think of, it's probably already done. So you always want to go back and take a look at what it did before. All right. Y6 says, but in order to clean this lows, we need to close weekly bearish. No. The weekly close is on Sunday. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, so if you actually pay attention, V-Rai, and you're here every day and you're listening to me talk, the entries are actually given. I mean, I gave 3-4 altcoin entries today. Did you catch those? We drew the entry and the stop loss and short ideas. But the thing is, V-Rai, you can't just randomly say, hey, I'm going to try to predict the future, and I know that it's going to bounce from here. I'm going to try to predict the future, and it's going to reject from here, right? So even if I give you something like this, I'm only going to, this is a plan. The permission or the reason to actually take the long is going to be based off of the data when it happens. So if you can't, like, I'll give you an example, okay? If price is going up and open interest is going up, okay? Open interest going up means what? People are opening positions. So if price is going up and open interest is going up, this is bullish. You understand? So if I say, hey guys, maybe this is a good level to short. Okay, that's a bad low. Let's go ahead and do a classic 7.5 Kimba short. I could give you this trade, okay? But if the price is going up and the open interest is going up, then when we talk about structural edge, when we talk about open interest edge, when we talk about divergence edge, well, this one you don't have anymore for a short because that's bullish. If price is going up and open interest delta is going up, that's bullish, right? So this is not helping you. What you want instead is price going up and then open interest going down. That means people are closing. That means it's a squeeze. Okay, so I could give you this, but that's how like we get people like Mario Fibonacci. They'll be like, but you said that you would short there. And so dumbasses will put limits here and then they get wrecked. Oh, Kimba, what the fuck? Dude, the open interest clearly is bullish. Why the fuck would you short? It's because you don't know what you're doing. Make sense? There's no way that you can just get away with this. That's why I don't understand why people believe in signals. It can't work. You're trying to predict the future. Why not say, hey, I'm thinking about shorting here. My invalidation would be here, and just watch the data and see if it actually helps you with a short. So I can give you all of the entries, but the reason why you get into the trade, the permission to execute the trade is all in the data. Do you actually have bullish edge to long or bearish edge to short? Because this thing can only go up or down. It's 50-50. So you got to put together, what you want to do is put yourself in a situation where it's better than 50-50. Does that make sense? So yeah, V-Rai, I could give you all of the entry levels, but the data at that moment is what's going to give you the edge on whether you should long or short. So there is no scenario where you're going to be successful in this game if you can't read the data yourself. Does that make sense? Otherwise, I'm going to have to be here 24/7 with you. I hope that makes sense, brother. Yeah, so it doesn't work. If you don't know what you're doing, it doesn't work. Most people that watch my live trading on the VIP YouTube, they just use it as confluence. All right, but if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you might see me on YouTube take a long, right? And then you go and take a shit or whatever, and I've already TP'd and I've gone out and you're already in the red. Alex says, how can you read the open interest from all the exchanges? So you need to go to the Discord, !Discord, and check out the trading tools. Okay, one of the things that I show is Coinalyze. Okay, I don't know why my internet is so slow, but we'll let it load up real quick and I'll show you how to do it. But you go to aggregated open interest, okay? So go to Coinalyze, Okay, free, no excuses, motherfuckers. All right, let's go to BTC. This is, I think, spot. I need USDT perpetual. Okay, so this is perpetual, right? You go to indicators, okay, and just type AGGR. So you get everything that's aggregated. So you can get aggregated CVD for coin margin and stable coin. Okay, you can get aggregated open interest. You know what aggregated means, right? It's combining everything. So if you go to aggregated open interest for stable coin margin contracts, that's it. And then what you want to do is you want to go to settings. It's combining all of the exchanges, right? Uncheck them and see which one's not like the other. You see how this changes it? But all the other ones, if you uncheck it, it has no impact because they're all the same. See how Bybit changes? You see how Binance changes? That's how I know I'm going to look at Bybit here and I'm going to look at Binance here. All right. Banana Man says ETH BTC is coming close to target. There is no target, Banana Man. So make sure you get caught up. Okay. That's another dead giveaway that you didn't actually listen. Okay, to our nerd out session. All right, there are no targets. You would be a fool to think, oh, this is the target. Oh, this is the target. Oh, this is the target. Nope, there is no target. What we're waiting for is to look bullish. Okay, it could do this. All right, are you good on the 3 drives that we talked about? So we don't know if it's going to bounce from here, if it's going to bounce from here, if it's going to bounce from here. No one knows. All I'm looking for is bullishness to form, but there is no target. Okay? We're not trying to predict the future, my guy. Let it make something bullish and then we go. Because remember, just because ETH BTC is bullish doesn't mean you automatically long ETH USDT. Does that make sense? ETH BTC being bullish means that ETH is bullish against Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin pumps, ETH is gonna pump harder. But if Bitcoin dumps, ETH is still gonna dump. It's just gonna dump less. So you have plenty of time to let it form structure. Fuck, I mean, I might even wait for an ETH long to change structure. Like I want all of this shit to get cleaned. I need to see a higher high at some point. These are all lower highs, right? So who gives a shit if it bounces from here? What if it just does this? So the concept is this has to be bullish, whatever way that you think. But just because it's bouncing off of a level doesn't mean that it's bullish. What if it just makes another high or low? Or I mean a lower high. Sounds good, Banana. I don't want you to get too like overcommitted. I'm just trying to make sure that you don't jump in too early, my boy. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. Tell them what happens if they don't manage risk.